Hello, I'm Wendy Lathrop for GeoLearn, and this is one of a series of programs on floods, floodplain management, and the National Flood Insurance Program for GeoLearn. In this session, we're going to be discussing crawl spaces and the distinction between crawl spaces and basements. What's the difference between them? Does it even matter? Why do we care? So we're going to start by looking at the purposes of the National Flood Insurance Program. This is defined by the statutes that enabled the program in the first place. The creation of the program was in Title 42 of the United States Code, Section 4001, defines what the purposes of the program are according to Congress's ideas back in 1968. And we see that it's supposed to be a means of adjusting the use of land by the regulating bodies, both at the state and local levels, so that we make sure that we are minimizing risks to lives and property. And it's not only for existing structures, but also for future structures. So that's the main and very important concept that carries through how we build to know whether we are going to have a crawl space or a basement. And we'll see that there are various repercussions depending on how that's actually incorporated into the construction techniques. The objectives of the program to accomplish the purposes established by Congress are to reduce the exposure to flood risks. And that's by a use of a minimum set of standards that are established by the regulating agency. At this time, that is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. When the program first began, it was under Housing and Urban Development because FEMA did not exist at that point in time. And FEMA, we need to remember, does more than just floodplain management, but that's the aspect that we're going to be concentrating on. This is from the Title 42 of the United States Code. The objectives are stated in Section 4002. To find the difference between crawl spaces and basements, we need to know what is a lowest floor of a structure. And for that, we're going to look at the definitions as noted in the regulations. So Title 44 of the Code of Federal Regulations is where we find the background for the flood insurance program that we have in this country. And most specifically from Section 59 on through up to 209. In Part 59, we have definitions. And the definition of lowest floor that I've got up here comes directly from that. We find that it is the lowest enclosed area, including the basement, which may or may not always truly physically be the lowest floor. And then there's another aspect to it. Depending upon the use of that lowest floor, it may be used as the lowest floor purposes for insurance as in a different place than it may be used for the lowest floor in terms of regulation. There are two different paths, two different parts of the National Flood Insurance Program. There's the regulatory side of it, and then there's the assessment for flood insurance premiums.